Hey guys, my name is Nora Franche, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hey everyone, we're reading from A Day at a Time. July 7th, reflection for the day. What wonderful things could happen in my life if I could get rid of my natural impulse to justify my actions? Is honesty so deeply repressed under layers of guilt that I can't release it to understand my motives? Being honest with ourselves isn't easy. It's difficult to search out why I had this or that impulse, and more importantly, why I acted upon it. Nothing makes us feel so vulnerable as to give up the crutch of the alibi. Yet my willingness to be vulnerable will go a long way toward helping me grow in the program. Am I becoming more aware that self-deception multiplies my problems? Today I pray. May my higher power remove my urge to make excuses. Help me to face up to the realities that surface when I am honest with myself. Help me to know, as certainly as day follows sunrise, that my difficulties will be lessened if I can only trust my higher power's will. Today I will remember, I will be willing to do my higher power's will. Okay, these layers of self-deception, it's really interesting because if you're like me, I'm a very literal person. I take things at face value, at what people say. I've been called gullible or naive. And I want to explain what this means in terms of what I've come to understand with mindset work. And it is that we have these layers of our psyche, but they're protective. They serve a purpose. Sometimes I think I'm not able to find the truth about my motive because it's protecting me. My psyche is working to protect me from the emotions that might come up if I'm honest with myself. And so it kind of makes it sound like my mind I'm not the one in charge of it, which is, I think, part of the complexity of our mind, that it is able to relate to itself, and something that I've come to understand and appreciate in my work with IFS, internal family systems, that really a way to describe our psyche is in this very relational way, where there's parts of ourselves that hold experiences and judgments, and other parts whose job is to, suppress that memory or keep you from understanding your true motivations, because it thinks it's keeping you safe. And there's something here that is key. And it's what we learned from St. Thomas Aquinas, and I've mentioned it before, and it's that we always choose what we believe to be in keeping with our greatest good. And this was so pivotal for me, because I would go and still have a habit of going, but I'm catching myself down this shame spiral of what is wrong with me. I'm disgusting. I know better. Beating myself up, blaming myself, or sometimes other people, if careful, if you're standing near. That's what I would do, because I couldn't wrap my mind around what I'd done or the struggles I have, or I did it again. But here's a challenge for you, and something I have sponsees do, is to identify, And whatever thing that happened or that you're frustrated with or that you're doing your step 4 or step 10 about, what is the good you were seeking? Were you seeking connection when you gossiped? Were you seeking intimacy when you went too far with someone? Were you seeking camaraderie when you went out to the bar just to be one of the group? Were you seeking the desire to be known when you overshared? There are things that we are desiring, deep, deep emotional needs often, in these areas of ourselves where we almost compromise our values in a way that boggles the mind because logically it makes no sense. But the thing about these emotional needs is that they almost precede logic in our own physiological maturity. These needs to be seen, known, loved, understood, cherished, supported. These are needs that go back to infancy or in the womb. And there's something in us that knows that there's a deficit there, that we're craving that God-sized hole for it to be filled. And I've come to find that those are the areas in my life where I do things that I cannot understand. And a lot of that has to do with my disease, in whatever way it comes out, with a substance, in relationships, in just my stinking thinking. There's some good that I'm after. And that just makes me feel like I can breathe, because I'm not some disgusting, maladapted, distorted, disfigured human. I am someone who bears the image of God. And that means I was made good. And that my system, my mind, works toward the good, whatever it perceives as good. And so the problem or the hardship comes when our perception of what is good gets twisted or distorted or bent out of shape for some reason, either by wounds, by misunderstandings of the world, by associations we made when we were younger, cognitive distortions we have because of maybe our temperament, all sorts of things. And that's the layers they're talking about here, those layers of dishonesty. There's all those layers on top of what I do and my ability to be honest about it. And they say in the program literature, in the big book, that the only ones who do not make it are the ones who do not have the capacity to be honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. But there is a way, because I think I, in the beginning, was definitely one of them. And I pray to God that I continue to work at my capacity to be honest with myself. But for me, I think the indicator there was that I could not keep my abstinence. I could not do it. And so I just want you to know that there is a way. I'm sure there are many ways, but I know one that I think is true and good and just and right and beautiful. And if you are curious about it at all, reach out. I feel so strongly that there is something so good here, and I want to share it with the world. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.